Hey, this is your girl, Aundi Moore, with your No More Starving Artists Financial Freedom Tips for today. Let me tell you, I have a special guest with me today. Her name is Dr. Sequina DuBose, and she's a good friend of mine, but she's also a fantastic artist, and she's a grant writer, and she has some wonderful tips to tell us to help our starving artists out here right now to be no more starving artists. Dr. DuBose actually has performed all over the world. She's performed at the Metropolitan Opera. She's sang at Carnegie Hall. She's also performed at Chicago Lyric and the Royal Danish Opera, just to name a few. And she also made her off-Broadway debut. Come on, girl. Make your off-Broadway debut. Come on and be a crossover contemporary classical singer, honey. But anyway, I am just so glad that you're here with me and talking with me because I need to give some more information to our artists out here who are struggling. And I wanted Sequina to come and talk to us about some grants. She's also, like I said, a grant writer with Art Centric in Baltimore. And she has some ideas about how you can actually get money. So tell us about artistrelief.org, because that's one of the biggest national grants that's out there, Sequina.
That's right. So when you're in the process of trying to find money, you want to kind of start big and work your way down. I like to look at the national level and then go down to the regional level and then the state and city level. Some national initiatives right now, one of the biggest one is artistrelief.org. If you go to that website, they are offering $5,000 grants for individual artists. And what's great about this particular one is that you simply have to certify. You're not asked to actually provide documentation of how you've been impacted. So they will ask you to fill in some basic information. You'll also be asked for basically a bio that qualifies you as an artist, and most of us already have that material on hand. And then you'll be asked to basically explain how you've been financially impacted by COVID-19. So this is all narrative, and then you submit, and that's the process. And one of the things that you really need to think about with this grant and with any grant is that right now things are very time sensitive. So, I know an artist who applied for the grant, and then the next day someone else tried and they said that the site was down or that they were out of money. And then they went back an hour later and it was back up. So just if you go and there's no information there at the moment, or they say that they're suspending funding, keep checking, check back over and over again, and you'll eventually get through, because funding is in flux right now. It's all first come, first serve basis, and they are rolling these things out on a rolling basis.
Okay, now when you're applying for these grants, do you have to have any kind of background in grant writing, or it's just your simple application?
Most of them have been simplified, especially right now, given the circumstances. Most of them are very simple, and you do not have to have a background in grant writing. You do not have to have any affiliation with a nonprofit organization. These are grants for individual artists like you and I, and anyone else who's out there listening. Another one is artistreliefproject.org. This is a smaller initiative. They're giving $200 grants,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a one-page application. So
Oh,
it's
great.
really easy, really simple. Artistrelieftree.com is another one. Their funds are currently on hold. But again, like I said, keep checking back. Go to the website and join the wait list. So when
Mm.
they do receive funding, they can reach out to you to then continue with your application.
And is this just for singers, or is it for anybody in the arts, visual arts, dance, actors? Who qualifies for this?
These grants are for artists of all mediums. When you get down to the local level, you may find individualized opportunities that are specialized and speak to only a specific medium. But these national initiatives are for all types of artists. I just want to also mention at the national level that they passed, as a part of the CARES Act, They passed the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act.
Okay.
Okay. What this means is that if you are a single member LLC, so I am a single member LLC. I
Okay.
file taxes as an LLC and as an individual. So when I have W-2 income, there's that. But
Hmm.
anything that's related to my music business is filed as an LLC. Many people have already done this. If you have done this for your music business and you are a single member LLC, you may apply for the Small Business Act's Paycheck Protection Program.
Okay.
Now, that is one currently, I believe they're either in flux or they may be out of funding, but keep checking that website. Go to your bank or go to an approved Small Business Association lender and ask. Okay, ask about the payment protection program for the Small Business Association because you qualify
Because you have an LLC.
if you are a single member LLC.
Right. But if you just applying as your normal name, like my Aundi Moore, and I'm not Aundi Moore LLC, I can't apply. Is that correct?
That's right.
Got it. So if you are an LLC, you can apply for that. That's great.
Right. That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
yeah, that's really great. So with the state, like, where can we go? Are we just looking at Google, and what is exactly we're typing in
Yeah,
to?
you can Google. You would even broader than that. Think of region. Think your region. Okay, so there are one, two, three, four, five different major foundations
Mhm.
that are regional. You have the Mid-Atlantic Arts Foundation.
Okay.
That's one. You have the New England Foundation for the Arts.
Mhm.
So, and it deals with all of the organizations with states within that region, the New England region. You have South Arts, so those are our southern states.
Mhm.
And then you have West AF, West Arts Foundation. And then the last one is Arts Midwest. So all of those regional foundations have websites. And on their websites are comprehensive lists of resources for that region. Then you're going to go to the state level and you're going to Google, you're going to look for regional and state arts councils. Every state has an arts council or a commission on the arts.
Mhm.
So, for instance, I may look for the Maryland State Arts Council. That website is msac.org. They have a for all of our Maryland residents who are listening, they have created a very special grant that is for those artists who are not eligible for unemployment insurance.
Okay.
So you can get unemployment insurance, and you can also qualify if you can prove that your unemployment insurance benefits do not fully cover all of the loss that you have sustained as a result of the governor's declared state of emergency in relation to COVID-19.
Okay.
So you could either have unemployment insurance and not cover all of the loss that you've sustained,
Uh-huh.
or you could be ineligible for unemployment insurance and you can get funding through the Maryland State Arts Council. So Google, put your state's name into the URL and type Arts Council or Commission on the Arts after whatever the name of the state is that you're a resident of, and you'll find a state arts commission or arts council.
So the biggest question a lot of artists have are, like, for instance, we live everywhere. Our
Mm-hmm.
home base may be, like, my home base is Maryland, but
Mm-hmm.
my majority of my work was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So do I apply to the New York, or do I apply to the Maryland? Do you know if
You're
that
going to focus
depends
on the
on where I do
state.
my taxes?
That's right. You're going to focus on the state where you file your taxes.
Okay.
That's when you will be technically considered a resident,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
if they are requiring you to provide proof of residency, then you'll probably be able to provide the most documentation for the state where you have filed taxes. So
Okay.
I'd start there. And then, of course, you still have those national initiatives. So that
Right.
doesn't
Right.
pigeonhole you to only those opportunities. One that I recommend everyone go to. One website that I recommend that everyone visit is the New York Foundation for the Arts. And their website is nyfa.org. They just have done a really excellent job of compiling resources and information together that are not just related to New York artists. So they have a lot of national organizations and initiatives listed there in one nice comprehensive list.
Mm-hmm.
And you should also visit your state's.gov site. So find out, if it's maryland.gov or
Right. New York.
nyc.gov.
Right.
Yeah, I know New Orleans has ready.nola.gov. They made a specific site just for COVID-19. They list food banks, they list unemployment resources, housing resources, and information about organizations that are providing funding. At the individual level, when you're thinking about specific genres and things, there's an Afro-Latin Jazz Alliance Emergency Artist Fund. So if you're a jazz artist and you're a resident of New York or New Jersey, they're giving $200 for artists that apply to that fund for the Afro-Latin Jazz Alliance. And then there's a website called lostmygignyc.com. And that one is where you will list your name as an artist and people who can give directly to you.
Oh my goodness.
Website. They will pay you through PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App accounts.
That's wonderful.
Yes, yeah. And there's another one for New Orleans residents called bandtogetherbenefit.com. They have an artist assistance fund that's $500 per person. You can just go in and apply. And lastly, think about your memberships and your unions. If you are a member of AGMA, AFTRA, Actors Equity Association, ASCAP, all of these major unions and organizations have created some type of COVID relief fund.
Okay.
And you'll just need to get your documentation in order and digitize your documentation so that you can just have everything ready to go for all of these applications. And finally, visit the Billboard.com website. Billboard, we all hear, the charts and everything that are released. Billboard has created an amazing, comprehensive, state-by-state resource page with grants that are available for COVID emergency relief. So those are some resources that I think everyone can take advantage of no matter where they live. So many of these grants are released on a rolling basis. Some of them have designated application periods.
Okay.
And then they have funding for this period of time, and then they're not going to do it again until another time frame.
Got it. Got it.
It's grant specific.
Okay.
And it is possible that they will run out because this is it's unprecedented, and and the money is designated for this very specific function. So
for emergency or COVID-19, for emergencies and COVID-19.
Because of COVID-19, many of these grants have been created. And, it is quite possible because they are seeing applicant numbers that they have never seen before.
Sequina, thank you so much. Thank you for just talking with me. Thank you for reaching out and giving us this information. What I will do, everyone, is put all the organizations, especially the national organizations, I'll put it below or within the video so that you can see exactly what she was talking about. Oh my goodness, girl, thank you. Thank you. Let me just tell you, I prayed this morning in my meditation. I said, Lord, send me somebody who can give me some more resources to be able to give my folks because, artists are struggling out here. And, I just want to make sure that we give as much as we can. Unfortunately, I don't have any money, but I can definitely give some resources.
That's right.
To say where you can find it. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And thank you so much for viewing. This is No More Starving Artists. This is your girl, Aundi Moore, and Dr. Sequina DuBose.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.